Welcome to Midwifery Wisdom Reacts. And this is where my team, a midwife, a doula, student midwife, and a mama get to react to birth vlogs all over YouTube. We love to experience what you experience. Look at home births, look at water births, clinic births, birth centers, anything in the community setting. That's our line of expertise. And we explore what's normal, what's not normal, and what midwifery is as we check these out. So we get to review another one today. This is a beautiful water birth that has a little bit of a challenge at the end. Anyone ever heard of shoulder dystocia? We're going to talk about it. So stay tuned, check out our new video. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and don't forget to hit that bell. That way you'll get notifications of all of our future presentations.
Can you come call her on your phone? Hey April, it's Alex. I'm not too sure if I'm in labor or not. My contractions are about 40 seconds long and they're about 2 minutes apart.
If it is labor, it sounds like early labor. I want to hear back from you in no more than an hour.
2 minutes apart is not early labor.
Okay, but she's like, I'm not sure I'm in labor because these are my contractions and I'm talking to you like I'm totally chill and I'm okay.
But people put on a good face for midwives sometimes. They like want to be like strong, or they want to be perceived as like everything's okay. Don't freak out. I don't want to freak out. Are you freaking out? I'm not freaking out. Everything's fine, right? I mean, sometimes they do that.
That's true.
Leila doesn't agree.
No, I'm like, if anything, they put on the dramatized in labor sounds. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
and
I've seen both.
I was totally like, I felt like I needed to host everyone that was there. Like I was, but that's like my personality, and it helped me. But maybe I'm a freak.
Yeah. Well, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay on the phone for a few contractions. I want to hear you through them.
That's smart.
Totally.
Tell me about them. Not like, oh yeah, you're way in early labor. Like, tell me about these contractions. I'm gonna hold while you do them.
Yeah, I want to hear you through them. Don't tell me about them. Show me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like she got right back on the phone with her midwife though, because it's not early labor.
Hi, sir. Her water broke.
Is there a timeline though? What was the time between those calls?
I think it was like an hour
Hey
later.
guys, I know I am super red. I'm trying to talk before another contraction starts, but I am almost positive my water just broke. I can't tell you guys how excited I am. I have always wanted to like naturally have my water break. Last time with Grayson, they broke it and I didn't even know I was actually asleep, so I didn't even know my water broke. And
Did she just say they broke her water while
She was asleep.
I think
Real
there's
thing.
something unethical about that. I don't know. It's just ringing some alarm bells for me. You should not be asleep while someone sticks a tool inside your vagina. I think regardless of the situation, that should be a rule. That should never happen. My
Real
God.
thing. I have witnessed it.
Okay.
It's real thing. And again, I get it. I have been in some labors where like this was the attitude and then she pushed the baby out 10 minutes later, but this is not active labor. Like, totally.
Yeah. She's.
No, I disagree. I think it sometimes happens like that.
Totally. It could.
I think it happens like that. I think, I mean,
it could.
she doesn't agree. She doesn't agree with me.
It totally could. Absolutely.
Well, there's just, I think, personality. I mean, this is the cool thing about it. Like, I always say, like, you don't give birth in a vacuum. Whoever you are, there you are. You're still like in labor and in life, it's still you. Mm-hmm. And some people are like put together even when the shit's hitting the fan. And some people fall apart with like the smallest little hiccup, you know? It's like whoever you are, whatever your habitual reaction is to stress or pain, it shows up in the same way. I think this is
I think we're about to
this
see a
is her.
very different woman in a couple minutes.
Okay. I like your prediction. Let's see.
I think mommy needs to poop too, but she has to poop on a baby.
Oh,
Oh.
No, not poo-poo pain. Is this a good, Oh no, he's pooping! Do you need to poop? Want to go?
No way, you guys.
Oh my
Get
God,
the poop
that's so
scoop.
awesome. That's
Got my fish in
awesome.
it.
I am a 6, and 80% of days that's exciting. That means it's actually happening. What's the date today?
See, she's 6. She's active labor.
Look at her face.
She's getting there.
Yeah, her face is totally different. I want to know how much longer.
She's still smiling. Look
I
at
want
her.
to know how much longer has gone. Like, I want to know the timeline. Has it been 9
The
hours?
sun looks pretty much the same.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's changed too much. Oh.
Oh.
This is what the medical industrial complex has done to women. It's convinced them that their bodies are incapable of a very normal human experience. Everyone is convinced of their own inadequacy.
It's so heavy. I'm just so glad I went into labor by myself.
Yeah.
And then no one had to break her waters for her.
While she was asleep.
But it's not just what industrial medicalized birth has taken away from women, but it's what midwifery has always supported for women.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it was the change in who supported her care that gave her that empowerment to trust her body and be loving what happens.
Mm-hmm. I really feel that. And of course, it's not the provider makes a big difference, but along with the provider comes the opportunity to prepare in a different way, to change your psychology, to change your perspective, to even change your story. And that's what's so beautiful about it. Her partner's right there with her, and she's going to get to experience this in a totally different way. But that weight, that heaviness of like, I can't believe I'm actually doing it. Like that reclaiming of self and possibility and power, that reclaiming of personal power. I think that's the brilliance. That is the brilliance of community-based, midwifery-based care.
It broke my heart.
I know. We all felt so heavy with that. God.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so like obviously such a positive person. I mean, I haven't watched any of her other vlogs, but she seems so like just peppy and positive and like and beaming. For her to be able to beaming really, and for her to be able to share that vulnerability of what her biggest fear was, like, and release that fear as it didn't come to pass was just wow.
I'm like feeling pressure, but not like when I'm contracting. His head is pretty low.
I love this. Her midwife's gotten all ready, resuscitation station, all those things just in case. Oh, she's beautiful. Look at her. Those hormones of labor just do make you so sleepy.
I love that motivation.
Me too. I always like dancing with your baby, like you and mother-daughter dance for your first time, or you're working together.
Now she's real.
Yeah, she's got a little shifty shift.
But you know, if the midwife had waited till this,
I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say she definitely came at the right time, obviously, like you said. But like this is her shift, mama's shift.
But sometimes the mamas have to wait till their whole team has arrived and they feel safe before they drop into that. They can't wait till that to call you
and let go.
Exactly. You say, I'm going to push now. No, you're going to listen to your body.
Yes.
That is the quintessential midwifery reframing.
Yeah. So like, am I supposed to get in a certain position? No, you're just going to listen to your body.
That's right.
Yeah. Grounding. She just grounded her so completely there.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
What a beautiful midwife. She's able to manage the physical, the medical, and this deep emotional, spiritual process.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good daddy.
She's like, you know, see that arm gripping her hand, but she's still listening to the baby. That's my favorite. That's like, that is the multitasking of midwifery.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
That motivation is so powerful. That was something that was so big for me. My midwife just saying, "You're doing it. Good job. Good job," was something that was so good for me.
I like it when the F-bombs dropped.
Yeah, me too. I saw that too.
Like, that's real right there. That's it.
Oh, she's pushing now. Look at her go.
There is so much power. Like, I feel like I just like saw a spirit come into her head, down her spine, and into her bottom. Like, she was a cone, like a rod of lightning energy laying in that tub.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And she was apologizing. I think we missed that for a second. And I hate that for women. Like, I wish we could take that away. There's nothing to apologize for when you're in your power, but women have been taught that they're not powerful. So it feels like a foreign sensation. Is that her mother helping to catch? Aw. She's still pushing. I think she needs to change positions. That midwife needs to take over. Yep, there we go. Ooh, yeah, she needs to move. She needs to move right now. Stand up, mama. Roll over.
There we go.
Yep, there we go.
She heard you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh man, like I respect the
That's it. This is like, there are so many pictures
from the midwife.
There's so many pictures of just my ass at birth photos because you get in these crazy positions. There we go. Thank goodness. Hi, little floppy dark baby. Had a little stuck moment.
Like my so far training and just as a doula and very, very new student midwife and birth assistant is head, next contraction, shoulders. If the shoulders don't come on that contraction, you move to hands and knees. If the shoulders don't come to that contraction, you move to Gaskin. If the shoulders don't come on that contraction, Mick Roberts and praying hands.
And you maybe have a dead baby if you wait that long.
Right. Like it's like you change every contraction. There's a new try.
No, you change every time you don't have progress.
Right.
Every push.
If the push there didn't bring the shoulders, change. If the push there didn't bring the shoulders.
So here's the thing. Here's my rule. Once you see a significant portion of baby's head, every push should bring progress. So before that, the baby can rock down and
Right.
back, and you could be like, there's a little bit of progress over the last 3 contractions. But once you have partial crowning, there should be progress with every push. Okay. So we heard her say the head.
Like,
and that was a multip, an
in.
unmedicated mobile multip who had a little bit of work getting that baby's head out. Like, wouldn't you say? Like, she pushed and flopped around for a while. So we either have a hand up, we have asynclitism, or we have a very large baby. Or we have some kind of pelvic constriction, right? Some kind of pelvic constriction. So already, because of how long it took for the head to come in a multip, because of that longer time that she had to get the head out, as a midwife, I'm already thinking, what's coming? So when she announced the head is out, she was reclining with her legs softly open. There was plenty of space. The next push should have brought the baby. It didn't. Grandma was brought in. The next push should have definitely brought the baby. It didn't. That's when I said, it's time to stand up. I think, you know, in the moment, none of us are always quite right on it. So I think maybe 2 or 3 or even 4 more pushes happened before she moved. And when you're dealing with even a potential shoulder dystocia, remember, you don't know until you're in it. So even if you're dealing with a potential shoulder dystocia, you have to act as if this is the worst dystocia you have ever attended. If you start out incredibly gently, you may not either have the staying power or the time to solve the problem. So how long do we have from the head out until we have potential brain damage in shoulder dystocia? 4 minutes from compromise. Not 4 minutes out, but 4 minutes from compromise. And so what you don't always know, which you should know, is by listening to heart tones regularly, you should know that you have a baby that's not compromised.
Right.
So that when they get stuck, you still have even more than 4 minutes, because they're not going to be instantly compromised just because they're stuck, right? But you don't always know that. So if you walk into a precipitous birth, if you don't have the skill to do proper fetal monitoring, just listening isn't enough. You have to be able to actually create a graph in your head. This is why I teach fetal heart monitoring, because it's actually very complicated. It's one of the most complicated things midwives do. So if you can't be assured that you have a low risk, non-compromised baby, you have to assume the baby's already compromised when the head is born. Especially if you have some of the signs of dystocia, like darkening head, like the turtling back inside, like lack of restitution. All of those things should make you move even faster. So how long do you try a certain technique? Until it doesn't work, which could be 1 second, or it could be 1 minute. If it's working, keep going. If it's not working, change. So there is, I know midwives, and there are workshops, and I know there's obstetric processes where they teach this and then this and then this and 30 seconds and then 30 seconds. It's absolutely irrelevant. When you are in the moment, midwives cannot tell time based on the adrenaline rush in your body. You can't tell how long it's been. You can't tell how long it's going to.
Unless you have a birth assistant shouting times.
Even then, it doesn't register. That's what adrenaline does. Adrenaline, blocks your prefrontal cortex. You can't actually do things you can do in a normal life when you have adrenaline. And so one of our jobs as midwives is to get on top of our adrenaline response. We have to be in charge of that adrenaline, not let it be in charge of us. But also we have to learn how to take cues from things in the environment. So I'm trying this technique, it's not working, next. Trying this, it's not working, next. Mom, move like this, move like that. And you have to make your mouth your mouthpiece has to work even as your hands are working. So you have to be working on a current technique, imagining the next technique, and then communicating it to your team members and your mama what needs to happen. So the way I teach shoulder dystocia is you have to approach it like it's the biggest disaster you've ever attended. Not with the fear, but with the motivation to do the next and the next and the next and the next, and don't stop until you get the baby out. And I love this midwife's perspective. She got right in there and did we can't see her hands. I'm assuming she's going for the posterior arm because she flipped the mom onto hands and knees. So whenever we have dystocia, we have to do one of two things. We have to move the mom or we have to move the baby. That's what's stuck, right? We have to move the mom or move the baby. It's infinitely easier to move the mom than to move the baby. So always try to move the mom. It's also less painful. I mean, truly, even with a head hanging out, it's less painful. So, okay, move. So she was in the tub, she rolled over onto hands and knees. Then the midwife went to move the baby. And I love that she went right to it. There was no hesitation. It could have gone a little faster, but I'm sure, like many of us, she was like, this is a multip, unmedicated multip. She says, baby will come right out, right? But if we have that perspective, you can let too much time pass and get a really compromised baby. And then you have a really, really aggressive resuscitation that's needed. And sometimes even a transport and all the attendants, cooling and, all the things that can happen in NICU as a result of a really compromised baby. So we want to do everything we can not to deliver compromised babies at home. And that starts with good fetal monitoring in labor and throughout pushing. And then it starts with getting babies out in an efficient, timely manner. And every push should bring progress. If it doesn't, that's why you are there as a midwife, to take that action. So all of this also needs preparation. So I always do a big check-in with my moms at 36 weeks of what if. And the what if around shoulder dystocia should be really clear. 2% of birthing people experience a shoulder dystocia. That's not very much. That's 2% across UK, US statistics in and out of the hospital. So there's some idea that in the hospital it's underreported because it can lead to a lawsuit. And there's also a lot of speculation that OBs are creating dystocia with rushing
by not allowing the two-step delivery. Yeah, exactly.
So either way, like maybe there's a little more, maybe there's a little less, but it equalizes out 2%. So it's a very rare complication. It's more likely your baby will be breached than have a dystocia, to be honest. But we have to prepare moms for even the rare occurrences. And so what I say is that every push should bring progress. If you feel like it doesn't, you should listen to your body and change positions. If I feel like it doesn't, I'm going to help move you and or the baby. And this is not very comfortable. And I apologize ahead of time. I'm not trying to hurt you or boss your labor in any way, but we do have a time limit when it comes to having babies. So what I ask is, in labors, we usually ask questions, we give suggestions, we check in with you. If you ever hear my bossy midwife voice, please listen. And it sounds something like, stand up right now. Stand up right now. Give me your hand. Stand up right now. Roll over right now. I never say that unless it's actually needed. And you could see that midwife got serious and whew, that mom moved. So they had done that preparation. It wasn't like, what do you want? What's wrong? What's your baby? Like there was no like, what is happening here? Yeah. She listened to her midwife. And that kind of preparation is what creates safety. Beautiful, beautiful scene.
Yeah, I think every midwife has the voice. Right. Yeah. Or right. And mine is like this crazy, like eerie calm that it's like, you need to stand up right now. You know what I mean? It's like, now.
Is that your scary mom voice too?
I think that's my scary mom voice. It's talk to my teeth. Yeah, my mom voice is talk to my teeth.
Yeah, the scary midwife voice, I think, is born through that practice of parenting.
But everyone definitely has that sound, and you can really tell for sure. But yeah, I think that there's some too that I think everyone's taught so differently regarding preparation for shoulder dystocia too. Some will literally like head's born, maybe the next contraction and push, it hasn't even come yet. And they're already just kind of sweeping to reach and check in on shoulders, right? Like, what are we feeling? I just want to know.
Well, some of them are feeling for cord. There's some of them are feeling for cord.
Yeah. Cord, shoulder, hand, right? Like things. So I think there's a lot of different ones, but
there's a huge spectrum in philosophy, like the hands on versus hands poised.
Yeah.
And then all the things between there. And there's a huge range of teaching mechanisms, both in the US, UK, Australia, all over. And interestingly, the statistics have not proven out. There isn't yet consensus on a way to reduce tearing or reduce dystocia or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. I was just about to ask that. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see how this baby
goes.
recovers. Yeah, let's do it. Mm-hmm. Oh, they had a cord around the neck too. Mm-hmm. Floppy, dark head. That was definitely a dystocia.
Getting better.
Listen to him crying. So he was stuck, but not compromised. Oh.
It must have been some time that went by. Look, the tub is totally drained and they're clamping. So I was like, whoa, but the tub is gone.
Yeah.
So
must have been some time. There must have been time. So there's a time lapse there that we can't account for in this video. But with babies who are potentially compromised or stuck or have those kinds of challenges, I want to leave the cord intact for as long as possible for two reasons. One is I want to infuse all the oxygenated blood possible. And again, we don't know the timing here, so we can't comment on what's happening here. But the other reason that's less talked about and is less commonly understood is that we also want the oxygenated blood to go to the baby, but the adrenaline-rich blood to go back to mom. So the newborn liver is too immature to process adrenaline. And so babies who have traumatic experiences, they get mom's adrenaline across the placenta and they have their own adrenaline, which serves to wake up the baby and turn on emergency mechanisms in the body so that they can breathe and get here. But then if the cord is cut immediately, that adrenalized blood stays circulating in the baby. And what a lot of people don't understand is that sometimes it takes 6 to 8 weeks for that adrenaline to clear. And so what that means is that babies who have the cord cut immediately and have a traumatic birth are the ones that get labeled fussy babies. They can't settle because it's like they have adrenaline all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we want to leave the cord intact for those two very important reasons. One is the lifeline, the resuscitation. And then the second is as they calm down with the cord still attached, it's because the mother is processing the adrenaline. Like imagine this, like you're driving in a car and you almost hit something and you have that shake, that adrenaline rush. If you sit there and breathe deeply for about 5 minutes, it's gone because the adult liver can process adrenaline unless you have some kind of, PTSD where you really can't clear trauma. But most of us can, in those adrenaline rich moments, come back to self. Babies can't do that. They require the mother's participation. So while the cord's still intact, they require the actual mother's body to process the adrenaline. And as infants, they require breastfeeding, soothing sounds, eye contact, body molding. Those are the things that help them regulate as infants and children. So anyway, I just wanted to make that point. Like it's really, really important to leave the cord intact for two very life-saving and personality changing experiences. Because imagine if you had so much adrenaline in your body, you cried for 6 weeks. That's going to change your very DNA. That's going to change your entire structure. It also changes how people relate to you. So how you get labeled and how your parents and grandparents and siblings treat you is a result of those first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's really powerful stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot about that. And when it comes to resuscitation in hospitals, it's like clamp, cut, move to the resuscitation space, right? And first of all, it's like basic NRP says keep the cord intact.
Yes.
But the resuscitation buckets are attached to the wall on the other side of the room. And so that's not possible.
Well, it is possible. It's absolutely possible. Integrative resuscitation happens all the time with midwives all over the world.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean
it just takes
in
the retraining. It takes the retraining
different.
And a relocation of equipment. Yeah, for sure.
So you're not only do you have on top of the resuscitation being a traumatic experience for this baby, or whatever caused the resuscitation being a traumatic experience for this baby.
Yeah.
But now this new process that I was thinking that you mentioned about the adrenaline, like, wow.
Yeah. It's really, really, really impactful. Yeah. It sets you up for a pattern that will repeat over and over and over in your life. Adrenaline response and the lack of ability to calm yourself. The other thing I was going to say is about that baby's head. And Bekah, I was going to wonder if we can go back and look at that baby's head again, because we can see the reason for the delay now on the head molding. Okay, so you see the ridge, like the round, protruding, round leading part of the fetal skull is back at the crown, back at the top of the occiput and the back of the head. But if you move forward towards the frontal bone, the forehead of the baby, you'll see a ridge there. That big fat dip, which you can kind of see, that is evidence of the maternal pubic bone. So this baby was sitting OP for some part of this labor. And I imagine that it was that final rotation that stopped that baby. That's why she had to push extra hard, is that the baby was taking the long arc rotation. He was taking the long way around. So it's just always interesting when we look at fetal skull, we can tell immediately after birth, we can tell exactly how the baby came through the pelvis. And this is one of my favorite, I call it forensic midwifery. I love to look back over how the process happened by looking at baby skull and hearing the birth story. And in fact, I have mamas and midwives send me babies' head pictures all the time because they want to know, like, is this what I think happened? Is this what happened? So I love to do that, and it's become a real passion of mine. So if you have any of those, message us on our contact listed below. But this one, you can tell he took the long arc rotation. He was definitely born OA. You can see the leading point in the back, but he rotated to OP for some point.
Oh, that skin to skin.
I would love to hear your thoughts on delivering placenta in the tub versus delivering placenta out of the tub. Like if there's a regard, like take away bleeding, take away, right? If there is an overall preference to one or the other, I find attending several midwives' births that I'm like, the same midwife, like, she gonna make you get out. You know what I mean? Like she's just gonna be like, okay, now we get out, and then other midwives, again, regardless of hemorrhage, regardless of bleeding, regardless, will deliver in the tub and put it in a bowl and let you like float around in a while. So what's your thoughts there?
I really don't have any opinion.
So there isn't like a one way, like you're supposed to deliver outside of the tub, or it's better to deliver outside of the tub.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any one way to have a baby or have a placenta. But I can say that there's definitely some opinions out there. There's a very opinionated Israeli midwife who has come up with an actual method that she says causes 0% hemorrhage.
Huh. That's definitive.
Very, very, very definitive. And it's called the 3-4-5 method, I think. And you can look it up online. She's very, very vocal about this. Essentially, at 3 minutes, she gets them into a squatting position. At 4 minutes, she gives them a shot of
even in the tub, like it doesn't matter.
Even in the tub. Even in the
post birth of the baby. This is for just the placenta. Yeah.
And at 5 minutes, she does controlled cord traction and delivers a placenta, and it never bleeds. And
that's active management, right? That's
what I think. That's what I think. I mean, like, no offense, she's very passionate and she's got good statistics. But active management also reduces the risk of hemorrhage. Right. But it introduces a whole host of complications, interventions that we also don't fully understand. So I'm a fan of active, all the things. I'm a fan of active management if we have risk factors. If she has a history of hemorrhage, if she's having multips, 2 babies, if she's, there's certain risk factors. So I would be like, yes, I'm all for having a Sazin lock in and running PID afterwards. But if we have no risk factors, I'm not sure that we can justify active management. One of the risk factors is distance from service, right? So if you're delivering in the bush, that might be a reasonable, justification.
Well, I think that's what the evidence says. Is that, the evidence
for healthy,
says that
low risk people,
there's no evidence that active management reduced risks versus expectant management for low risk, healthy people without risks. So
exactly.
Interesting.
I'm not sure we can justify it. And I'm not sure that we understand the consequences of those interventions. A shot of Pitocin is absolutely life-saving if we need it. But there is some evidence that links Pitocin to postpartum depression. And that's just the beginning. I don't think we understand fully what could happen. Yeah.
Breastfeeding issues.
As a profession. Yeah, as a profession. I don't think we fully understand. I mean, it's like, if you really take it down into the woo-woo category, which I love to do sometimes, oxytocin is called the hormone of love, right? It's responsible for bonding and attachment. It's responsible for the feelings of mushy gushy love between you and your partner. It's responsible for ejaculation, for the milk ejection reflex, for the fetal ejection reflex, for orgasm. It's responsible for so many major life events. Something might happen if we alter that chemical balance or the receptor sites in your body. If your receptor sites are all taken up with synthetic Pitocin, perhaps you're not able to experience your own oxytocin high. I don't know. I carry it. Totally. I use it when medically appropriate, but I just want to keep asking those questions that we're messing with big main hormones here, and there have to be consequences even if we haven't discovered them yet. So that's why I don't think we can justify routine management of anyone for anything. This is the most individualized experience we'll ever have as humans. And it's a complete rite of passage. I mean, it has the potential to make or break us. When you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization is the peak, human experience. And you absolutely can become self-actualized by giving birth.
Yes. She just witnessed that. She was witnessing it during birth. Also, I kind of just realized what you said. 5 minutes is when she requests cord traction for placenta. That's way fast. That is straight up OB management.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thanks for that. Just wanted to check in on the birthing and the placenta thing.
Yeah.
Oh God, can you imagine if you went up on your food?
What was he?
I don't know, but I think they're saying he's early, so you can kind of see that indent now.
Is that 13?
Nice size head. And see that little asynclitic capit off to the side?
Yeah.
Huge baby. There's that dip. You see that dip? Ooh, perfect. Aw, he got his latch. What a smart baby.
Grandma.
Oh.
Grandma, look at her little concerned face. Oh. So cute. What a beautiful birth.
I want to know what the weight was. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh.
Here's her little review. Aw. They're cute. Look at them.
There's that live fiddle leaf back there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's rough.
Where do they live? That is gorgeous.
Okay, well, we wrapped another beautiful Reacts video. If you have a vlog of your birth video that you would like us to check out, review, chat about, laugh, and get serious about, then send it to us. You can post a link in the description in our comment section below, or you can email us the link to your vlog and we will take a look at it in the coming videos. Thank you, Leila. Thank you, Bekah. So glad to see you guys again and having these fun round the globe time zone conversations. We come to you from 3 different time zones totaling 12 and a half hours difference, right? Yep. Oh, here we are. Well, it's my morning. I'm getting ready to start my day. And Bekah, you're probably headed to sleep.
Leila's definitely headed to sleep. She's
Leila's even later. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. All right. Well, thanks, friends. I'll see you next time.
Bye.